Screen share. My program isn't even open yet. What the heck? In case anyone has joined. I'm reading a thing. Oh, what the hell was I doing? Yeah. I forgot the link in this. Curses. That doesn't even begin to make any kind of sense. Okay. Chat up. It looks like nobody is here, but that's probably because I shared it like a moron. And I need to go ahead and copy this. And then delete this tweet. Delete this tweet. Okay. And then go to my profile. Oh, goodness sakes. Oh, goodness sakes. That line needs work. So, for anybody who ever watching this, here we have Jay Burst from Broccoli Top on Grateful Loan from RhysStream over on Twitter. And he's a anime-inspired youth with inertia field powers, kinetic field powers. One moment. Oh, pardon me. Steal some of this tea. Yep, thank you. And this here is Chad, our very own Chad. Whose powers include tinkering, knowing how to fix machines sporadically. Now, when when our artist Rolf was working on the page a while ago, because Rolf's work time is so much faster than I can letter. It's ridiculous. and get the coloring done and everything. It's truly, as I said, ridiculous. Anyway, when Rolf was working on it, he some of the character designs weren't in fact set yet. And some of the layouts weren't quite right where I wanted them. And stuff like that. But with it, I've got a couple just changes made to the format or whatever. And the layout of the characters for the thing just didn't quite look right. It just wasn't quite what I wanted for it. And a big part of the problem with that, you see, is that we ended up getting a few details that just weren't quite spot on. And one of those was here. We need J in the bottom of the panel, but not facing the panel. And Rolf had put a placeholder in there, but it wasn't distinct enough. It didn't match the final character design, and I thought we could go without it, so I just edited it out, only to realize that that was a horrible idea after the fact. You may ask yourself, Rhys, honestly, man, what the hell are you doing? Well, this guy is going to serve as a placeholder, and I am going to use a little optical illusion to get it where I want it to be, because it's not there right now. Although, in perfect honesty, I can probably go through here. I was going to just draw it over, trick it a little bit, but I think I might actually be able to fake it out differently than that, which for me would be a very welcome thing at this point. While I'm doing this, I'm going to talk a little bit about Broccoli Top. Character was created by Splice for his webcomic Broccoli Top back in the day. And it is the story of a youth, a teenager, a high schooler, who is just a regular day at school when all of a sudden he is finds himself teleported into an alternate parallel dimension where everything is based on anime tropes. And surprise, surprise, not what he was ready for. And so he let me get out the pen. I've got a cheap Wacom tablet, an off-brand. It was especially cheap for me because Barry traded up. He gave me his old one. So I have Barry's old one, and it cost me nothing. And I've been using it for so many years. Not overly great with it, but anyway, back to the story as it is. Jay finds himself in a world ruled by the tropes of anime. Actually worked out better than I thought. Now I know. Oh, hey, Carl, how's it going? I just saw your thing there. You've probably been waiting for a while. Actually, I can tell you have, because I just saw your thing. It says 6:35, so you've only 5 minutes for me to notice you. Sorry, man. So you probably just saw me perform a amateur surgery on this page to get the pellet pacing I wanted on it. Which, face it, it's one of my best tricks, right? So let me see, up to the words, pet layer. Yeah, put that about right there. So what do you find yourself busy with today, Carl? I'm just not quite happy with that. Are you preparing the next great chapter of your epic? Now, I don't even know. Are you still in school? Ah, I assumed something of that nature. So what year are you? Really? Forgive the shock of that, but your the writing in Holgrave, as far as the complexity of the world, the motivations of the characters, the homage to the old school. I assumed you'd been at that for a long enough. Oh, okay, so you're kind of procrastinating getting into school. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I had actually encouraged my oldest to take a similar approach, but then he earned himself a full ride scholarship. We told him to get his butt to school. He'll start in the fall. It's hard to beat free. That's my take on it. So what are you studying in school there, Carl? Are you looking at a particular career? Mm. Hmm. Yep. I honestly think that that kind of thing is probably uh, um, the course of prudence for the artistically inclined. See, my generation, my wife and I were just talking about this the other day. Um, somebody was joking on the internet about art school, and my wife is an artist, and she had considered art school when she was just out of school, but she gave me babies instead. Um, so we just got on with living, taking care of the kids and all that kind of stuff. That all that boring breeder stuff. But anyway, and so we didn't spend a lot of money on school. I had dropped out already, um, trying to pay off my student loans, and I didn't end up going back. Um, and But anyway, we're talking about art school and how I just kind of think that a lot of that kind of stuff, if you're artistically inclined, to just do it. Just keep making art and keep honing your craft on your own and studying informally, because it hardly seems worth the money to have drop in Barry, um, who's on our team, of course. He did the art school thing, and he um, has struggled as part of it, just because the arts can pay very well, but they tend to not at first. Um, and so that's the big challenge with that. So I noticed that the most recent Hullgrave there are not colored. Is that a temporary thing? Or are you switching palettes for the neck for this chapter and ongoing, or what's your plan with that? Cool. No, I actually I like this color scheme you've got going on there. I've really enjoyed it. I do wish I was a little spoiled reading not discovering Hallgrave till the first chapter was altogether done. I think because I'm a little more anxious than maybe I should be to see the rest of that laid out there. But in any case, let's see here. So are you ever thinking about taking it to print, or is it gonna stay on the internet? You have a thought for that? Yeah, I personally think that's a real smart way to go about doing it. That was our intention with Forces as well, is to keep it on the net, keep it for free for people that are interested, and build up the property there. It's just one facet of our larger creation. So, keeping it true to its roots, something that I've always mindful of. When we started Ideal, this maybe seem a little pretentious. I don't know, but it is the truth. We took a lot of inspiration to try to do it this way from the indie band scene. I'm not sure that we've perfectly mimicked that or anything, but something we've kind of strove to do is to present it like that, where our webcomic is kind of like a mixtape you hand out outside of a mall and invite somebody to the show at the coffee shop later on. So that's kind of how we've always wanted the webcomic to be like, right? Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that we've got it perfectly down or anything. There's lots of things that I wish we'd have done differently. Lots and lots and lots of things. But that being said, I still believe that we've got some handle on the concept, at least. It's I don't want to sound like sour grapes at all, but it is a little frustrating to me in some ways, because the history of our making comics. So Peter Smeddy is doing awesome stuff with Alterna, and stuff that I've dreamed about for years: newsprint comics and newspaper stand distribution, all that kind of stuff. I think it's amazing. He started Alterna about the same time as we started Ideal. Now he's in a different market and has different skills, and was making a different product, and he has gone the whole hog. I mean, he's made publishing and distribution his life. And I'm not trying to take anything away from the level of dedication that represents, because I think it's super awesome. But in a lot of ways, the things that he has found that have worked are things that we've talked about around the table for years. And in perfect frankness, some of those are things that we really hope to get in on. I've been following the tale of Alterna distribution, just the possibility of that. That's something that we have been talking around the quote unquote ideal offices, is something we hope to get. Of course, a lot of that's going to be, we've got to get more brand recognition, and that's going to mean some more comics out there. And our first hurdle is getting this exposition or story to the point where people actually seem to want it. I know there's a few people out there that are excited for it, and I am excited for it. But we've really got to kick it in the butt if we're going to make it to be something. So there you go. There's way more information than I suppose anyone has the right to care about it. And like I said, I don't mean to sound sour grapes at all, because I don't feel that way about it. I'm actually very excited that people are able to, I don't want to say take my ideas, but have come to the same thing. It's like a proof of concept. I was talking today, James. Yeah, I know, right? Cat out of the bag, because almost nobody is going to watch this. But my missus and I are working on a book, and our first place to pitch it is going to be Alterna. It's not set in our universe, and our Ideal Comics stuff is all set in the universe. Like, I don't know if you've heard the announcement that the Warehouse, Rico's book about the fuzzy animals in prison, is set in our continuity. And we're going to be doing some little closets type reveals about how those things actually work together within the confines of our universe. It's going to be fun. But my wife and I are working on a story that is most definitely not part of the Ideal universe, and it's going to be working on it. So I'm sorry. What's really cool? The 30-second delay and me not looking that closely at it, I'm not sure what you meant was cool. I'm going to be that guy. Oh, yeah. It is a really cool comic, isn't it? It's great. I don't know how much of it you've read. Not all of it's even online anymore. Some of it's are available exclusively on Rico's Patreon. We do intend once we're going to be getting an eShop. We're going to plan on selling them through the eShop. We are also we are in talks with Rico about putting them up on our Ideal Comics electronic comics store on Comixology. I mean, Comic Central. That's not 100% yet, but yeah, it's a great comic. I'm a huge fan of how he's done that. Um, yeah, it's called. I don't know if you know for sure, but it's called The Warehouse: Tales from Vacation Land. So I gotta be completely honest. I was really hoping I was going to get all this thing done today, but I am not. That is definitely not going to happen. But that's okay. Let's see here. Okay. So tell me, Carl, are you excited for the Avengers Endgame coming up there? See, I'm in the exact same boat. Like, and people keep thinking, like, every time I talk about it, somebody thinks I'm crazy or just disillusioned. But I don't know. I was really excited for it, like even up till Christmas time. But just since then, it's just been a steady trip down where I'm just like, meh. And I don't know. I don't know if it's because, like, as you know, as everybody who watches the show knows, I'm a huge Aquaman fan. So I don't know it's the if it's that kind of a thing where I'm like, well, Aquaman was really good, so I just want more Aquaman. Aquaman was so good, I just don't care about anything but Aquaman. Which, who knows? Maybe, right? Or if it's something else. It's hard. It's hard for me to know what the score is. I'll probably go see it. I might see it on a matinee, though. My kids both really want to see it. So this page here, you may find this interesting or you may not. So these are actual formulas and equations. And I have not taken physics for a very long time. But yesterday, and I knew I wanted this page to exist. I've known I wanted it to exist for almost a year in this current format. Or not quite the current format, but what it has on there. And I spent probably 3 hours yesterday going back through physics homework. Not my homework, but like looking up online and rehearsing what I knew. And my kids are in a physics course right now, an introduction to physics. So I'm put bugs in their ears about stuff they knew to get these formulas close to what I wanted. And it was a ridiculous amount of effort for the payoff. But the science here is just about right. So that's the kind of thing I think is fun, apparently. Let me see. I'm going to save that. And I'm going to reduce the size to 800 pixels wide. Oh my goodness, we're so far behind. That's crazy talk. 2:08, 2:15.
What's that?
Wow. Oh, I'm just working on the page. Yeah. Are you guys all wrapped up?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll wrap up here then too. Well, that is the swan song. My kids are out of class. It's time for me to call it a night and head out. And everything. So tomorrow, I will be uploading the page, and you guys can take a look at it, and maybe do me a favor, share it around, just if you want to. There, Carl. And that's about it, though, huh? So. And anyway, we'll kill. I'm gonna call it out. Call it a day. You have a good one out there in the world, Carl. Keep making comics that I love, and I'll keep talking about those comics that I love, and I'll keep doing the same. Hopefully, be like a reciprocal thing. And hey, if you ever want to dip your toe into a different universe, let me know, because I'd love to work together with you on something. So. But anyway, I am going to sign off and call the whole thing done. So Thanks for tuning in, Carl. Anyone else who comes in later, I hope you enjoy the show, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.